Okay, let's see if this is going to work. I have had issues for the past few days on this. Um, okay, basically, I've been wanting to talk about family structures. Um, and is there a perfect family structure? I would venture to say that there's not. You know, non traditional family structures are, you know, they can be healthy. Um, and, really, if we're very honest with ourselves, we've been more, prone to non traditional structures in our culture these days more and more. Um, so this was on my heart because, you know, people get tired of hearing this as far as, and let's say, you've got some kind of disability. Um, in my case, several debilitating depression that can be debilitating sometimes. And now COPD. Sorry that my losing my voice here. I hope I'm not getting sick. But COPD, just many, many illnesses, and um, to the point where, it's basically autoimmune deficiency, where, my immune system is just not where it needs to be. And as I say that, I've got this tea that I need to drink. Um, so, anyway, when I wake up, it's really not fun. Um, Half the day, I'm laying there just trying to get better. And I've gotten to the point where, it used to be, and I think because I'm taking better care of myself now, it's not as bad, but it used to be. I was not well until 3 o'clock. And so now it's just mornings, just feeling really yucky. So, okay, with that being said, my family structure, um, I see my son, but he doesn't live with me. And, you know, um, my family structure has to be different. It just does because how would it be fair? Um, I've been in a housing crisis, and how would it be fair for him not to have his own bedroom and not to have the things that he deserves? How would this be fair? Um, and how would it be fair for him to need his mom, you know, him being severely autistic and having the mentality of a 2 year old, and for him to need his mom and for his mother to be sick half the day, it makes more sense. Sometimes you do have to um, arrange other, make other arrangements, and so anyway, the area that I live in and is very, they consider themselves pro family. And the religion, the most popular religion um, that rules this town and, well, pretty much the state, um, encourages the family unit to stay together even when it is so dysfunctional and so toxic. So now if you're in my situation, or you have to have a non-traditional family setup, if you've had to seek assisted living for your child, or my child is now an adult but not mentally. if you have to seek assisted living for that child in order for them to get everything that they need, do not let people shame you. Do not, because, and do not shame yourself. Don't shame yourself for having a disability, and, whether you chose to, or, you weren't completely informed about the, well, I want to say you maybe were not completely informed about how disabled your child could be if you, as a person with a disability, had a child. You weren't informed, and you made that choice, and so either you brought the child into the world, or um, maybe it wasn't a planned pregnancy. um, do not let people shame you for that. Each life is a gift. The child is here for a reason. And my son has been a major blessing to me. When I do see him, him holding my hand, and, he's nonverbal for the most part, but he does communicate, because he grabbed my hand the last time he saw me, and he played the eye game, I guess, talking with your eyes. I walked up and I said, "Hey, Malachi," and he had been sleeping, and I grabbed his hand, and he went, and then closed his eyes real quick again, and, and he would just explain, that's his way. When he's happy to see somebody, that's what he does. So, he's such a blessing. He's not in any way ashamed to show his love. He's, that's one thing very special about um, children with autism, severe autism, or developmental. They're always going to be your child. They're going to always be that child that is never ashamed to show affection. You'll always have that. They're just special in that way. They're not going to be like a teenager that wants nothing to do with you, or an adult that has issues with showing how much that they love you. No, they're, sometimes they get to the point where, touch, if you're over, like if you over hug them, they're like, you know, um, and so they are sensitive to that. But they have no problem with showing you how much that they love you otherwise, and they're always going to be that innocent child that, they're not tainted by the world. So don't ever feel like it was a mistake. There are no mistakes. So I'm speaking out about this because, it was very, I felt ongoing shame from a friend, and, you just do you. I have to say that um, the things that your children go through because you choose to have have them, when it's very toxic, if what you said was true and you choose to have them in that situation, is going to be very detrimental to them. And so I'm choosing for my child to be in a better situation than I am. And yeah, there are things, that aren't perfect about his situation, but I think it's a lot better him having his own room. And you mentioning, well, you should have just taken off with him. No, where would I take him? He wouldn't have his own room. He wouldn't have his own things. You know, it's just that mindset of being so brainwashed with religion, that you don't see the big picture, that you're putting your child in a situation that is not beneficial for them. And so when the courts say in the best interest of the child, yeah, they're really looking out for the child when they say that. They're not out to get you. They're not out to, they're really looking out for the best interest of the child. And I think sometimes we need to put our um, religious bias aside. You know, um, I've seen some really not so good things, and the sometimes the father and or the male figure is not the abuser. You know, and this was back in the 90s where I saw that the mother was the abuser, and she wasn't, well, she was borderline abusive with her kids, but she was very mean to her husband, and the church encouraged it. And not her being mean, but for those kids to stay where they were at. There should have been so many calls to social services. So just embrace your situation. If you are in a non-traditional family setting, embrace it. And think about how you could help others, with some of the feelings that you may have. you know you may have just met somebody in another non-traditional setting, and they are feeling shamed by religion, and they're feeling shamed by their friends. um, they might be feeling shamed by family, you know and you could reach out to them, you could share your experience. you know um God really wants, he has a reason, that he has allowed this. you know um and it could be to strengthen, for you to strengthen your walk with him. you know it could be that maybe you just wouldn't be able to fulfill your purpose if you had a traditional setting. And you wouldn't be able to do that now with my ministry. I really wouldn't have the time that I have now. um and I would, and does that mean, I wouldn't choose my ministry over any family member that I love, but I definitely, if God brought me to a place where, okay, this is what I want you to do, this is what I want you to do for now, I would feel like I had to be obedient. And it's not like, you can choose not to be obedient. You can choose to do something other than your calling, but really it's, you're not going to. He called you to do this for a reason. And so whatever he's called you to do, for me it's public speaking, and he called me to do this for a reason. And I wouldn't be content if I did anything else. So just embrace what he has for you. And it's, you might be in a blended family. you know the father may not be in your life, but they may be in your child's life. And just embrace your situation, and learn. There's a lot of lessons in that, learning to forgive, and understanding that okay, you started out this way. You started out this way. Well, okay, God is leading you into another direction. God is leading your mate into another direction. And religion just says, well, stay together no matter what. um but sometimes things happen, people evolve. um and you just find that you are not compatible. And if you've forgiven that person, and you can both enjoy the life that you created, which is your child, there's nothing wrong with that. So be blessed. And yeah, I just, this has been on my heart to speak this for a while. And I'm just leaving it where it is. I'm not holding any grudge against the person that said, well, why don't you just take off with your son, you know and has asked me why I don't try more as a mother. I'm not holding anything against you. I just choose not to pursue the friendship because I can't really watch you anymore destroy yourself and destroy other people. I can't do that, and I don't know, your situation may or may not be um what you say it is. I've never met your spouse, and so I don't know. Um, you you judge my situation without ever meeting my son. Um, so how am I to know that you are telling the truth about your spouse? You know, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say you're lying either. It might be true, but I just choose to stay out of that. I mean, I forgive you, but it's just been too many times, and I kind of, the bottom line was when, or the straw that broke my back, camel's back, was when you said I should just take off with him, and also that saying that I wasn't around to comfort him, and you know what, I serve a God that comforts. He comforts all, and when I pray for him to comfort my child when I can't be there, I know that he's going to do it. So I just have to cut that tie. I have to cut that tie because I've warned you before. And so I just really encourage you guys to embrace what is, you know, and work on the situation as it is. If you have to make any changes, do it because you know that you need to make changes, and not because somebody else told you that you have to. Um, anyway, that's all I had to say. Be blessed.